Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is Yasir Qadhi. Alhamdulillah, Al-Maghrib Institute's IlmSummit has become the annual premier event for Islamic academics in all of North America. We thank Allah Azza wa Jal for the last 3 years, IlmSummit really and truly has raised the bar of learning Islam really in the entire continent of North America. And this is something that any of our students can, alhamdulillah, testify to. And that's why we have a huge percentage of previous students who want to come back. And really when we reach out to the students who aren't coming from last year's, they all give us a valid excuse for a particular reason they couldn't come. IlmSummit is really and truly an experience like no other in all of Al-Maghrib Institute, dare I say in any other place within this continent of North America. Many students have said the only experience that they've experienced better than IlmSummit is Hajj or Umrah. We're really grateful and humble to Allah Azza wa Jal for that. And of course the reason is not because of anything we're doing, it's because IlmSummit is an experience that immerses you in knowledge morning to evening. You wake up at Fajr, you pray Salatul Jama'ah, and then that's it. You start your Quran, you start your Tajweed, we do fiqh, we do tazkiyah, we do aqidah, we do modern history. We have a whole bunch of miscellaneous topics, advanced topics that myself, Sheikh Yasir Qadhi, Sheikh Walid Basyuni, and this year, alhamdulillah, we have Ustad Wissam Sharif as well doing Tajweed. We also have Imam Abdul Nasir Jangda as well. We're going to have a bunch of amazing classes and seminars. Sheikh Walid Basyuni is going to be doing a very interesting, a very in-depth subject, and that is really his speciality, and that is Aqidah through Hadith. So it's going to be a Hadithi / Aqadi course. So we're going to be doing one of the Sunan works, and we're going to be looking at theology through the eyes of Imam Abu Dawood. When he wrote his Sunan, what exactly did he intend, and how did he intend to convey theology through his Sunan? And it's also going to be a Hadith experience as well. And that's really the way that the early scholars learned these sciences, and that's combining a number of sciences together. So that's going to be very advanced, very cutting edge. Sheikh Yasir Qadhi has been very eager to basically introduce a class that has obviously never been taught before. Every class at IlmSummit is a new class, and it's only taught at IlmSummit. And it will basically be fiqh pertaining to the modern world. In other words, issues of fiqh that our classical and medieval scholars were not exposed to, issues that have now come about, organ transplants and other such things of this nature, whether they're financial transactions, whether they're related to medicine and biology. And he's going to be doing 12 or 13 different modern issues, and then shedding light based upon classical Islamic principles. And how that's relevant, of course the issues that he chooses are going to be relevant to each and every one of us. But even perhaps more importantly than the issues themselves, casting light on how modern scholars derived rulings for these issues based upon classical and medieval textbooks. That's really going to be a fascinating look into the mind of Islamic scholarship. And that's something that will, once again, be cutting edge for our advanced students. I'll be basically continuing my classes for the last 2 IlmSummits. For those who know, they know. For those who don't, well, they're missing out. What can I say? Can't really say too much on camera. But those who attended for the last 2 years know very well what I'm doing with my subject and my particular forte as well, and that is basically theology in a different light. And so last 2 IlmSummits we talked about various groups, let's just put it that way, and this year we're going to be talking about modern Muslim movements and manifestations of classical movements in the modern world. So it's going to be a classical Aqidah class, but looked at in a very, very nuanced and modern light. In other words, how are certain trends manifested in today's society? And it will be a class that will be basically following up from the last 2 IlmSummits. Ustad Abdul Nasir Jangda has a surprise which I'm not allowed to tell you. Suffice to say, he will, as usual, blow your socks off. And of course, Wissam Sharif is none other than Wissam Sharif. What can I say? Alhamdulillah, his presence, his demeanor, his jokes, his voice, everything, it's going to be once again, an amazing IlmSummit experience, inshaAllah ta'ala. And we hope to raise the bar even more. Every year IlmSummit comes along and we're like, nothing can beat this, nothing can beat this. But alhamdulillah, the bar continues to raise up. And alhamdulillah, once again, our seats are almost filled up. We have a few seats left. And so we're reaching out to any of our students who are interested. Now, please don't be intimidated by the requirements and criterion, because of course we do want our advanced students to come, but we also realize there's a catch-22, and that is, how are you going to become advanced unless you immerse yourself in such an experience? So we read your whole application, tell us what else you've done in the community, tell us what other halaqat and durus you've attended, tell us maybe what you plan to do with this knowledge, and inshaAllah ta'ala, inshaAllah, if Allah Azza wa Jal has willed for me and you something, then nothing can prevent it. So I hope to see all of you there. وَجَزَاكُمُ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَةُ اللَّهِ وَبَرَكَاتُهُ.